the finish line. But what they don't tell you is you can leave that person and still not feel safe. Because for a lot of us, it was never just them. We get into things, start peeling back layers, seeing patterns over our entire life that are connected to generational trauma. So it's not just the last relationship, it's everything underneath that becomes clearer, where you see patterns in your life and your nervous system has to detox. Detox, I don't know if anyone here has ever, hi, Katie. I know Katie has tried to lose weight. When you start losing weight, your body detoxes. And that's the same thing that your nervous system goes through. That is why you feel like crap before you start feeling better. And when you look at all these patterns across your life, as things become clearer in the healing process, um, it's everyday life on top of healing, which is already hard in itself. You're peeling back layers of generational trauma. Some of you might have caregiver burnout, taking care of family members. For me, it's my daughter who has chronic illness and disabilities. Um, Adoption trauma. Those of us who were adopted and we have that to heal from. Not only that, you stack this on top. We're stacking all this on top. Some of us, when we go through healing, will lose people, family members, friends, people that are still alive, and that's grief. You have grief on top of healing and detoxing your system from being in that narcissistic relationship. And that's why I say this is layers. It's layers like an onion. You're peeling back. I use the Phil Collins, I think has this song Digging in the Dirt, something about digging in the dirt. And I never knew what that meant until I started healing. You guys know that song, right? There's Bun Bun. She came to say hi to you all. Hi, everybody. Thank you for the hearts and the smileys. And I don't have my contacts today, so it's hard to see. And these glasses give off a reflection. But anyways, for those coming in, we're talking about healing from narcissistic abuse. It doesn't just stop once you leave the narcissist. There's a whole other ball of wax to deal with, a whole other can of worms, because as you gain clarity after getting out of that toxic, abusive dynamics, you start seeing patterns across your entire life, which include generational trauma. Hi, Deanna. It's good to see you. My back hurts. Excuse me, you guys. Someday I will get a nice desk and an office, but for now, I thought we'd be up here with the animals and Bun Bun. So, as I was saying, like peeling back layers as you look back over your life and you see patterns and things start to make sense, it's like a whole puzzle coming together, and you're like, "Holy shit!" It's like I I don't know who in here can relate to this. Like you feel like your nervous system is never regulated. And if it is, it's not for very long because it's so much to deal with on top of everyday life, the stresses, finances, all of it. So there's the adoption. Some of us were adoptive. Some of us have, kids that we're still taking care of. For me, I have an adult child that has chronic illnesses and disabilities and dealing with all that and doctor's appointments and the gaslighting with doctors. Um, oh, what else? Let me get to my notes. Sorry, you guys. My back is really sore and I'm going to be moving around a lot today. So there's the medical gaslighting. We start to see narcissism in everything, everyday life. Our discernment and clarity becomes razor sharp, and it almost feels like you're in a whole different, like you step through a portal of some sort. Um, see, let me get back on track here. So I went over caregiving, losing family members, either because you're healing, people want the old version of you, um, losing family members to suicide. This is another whole different podcast that I'm going to do. That's a whole other can of worms, but that's one thing personally that I'm still dealing with. So you're not just healing, you're exhausted. It just sucks the life out of you. Nobody warns you. I didn't know this, and I don't know if put a number one in the chat if no one told you how hard healing is. Hi, PS5 Games. Welcome in here. Um, I didn't realize how hard it was. I had no freaking clue. It just it takes so much out of you. So you got the I'm hanging in there. How are you doing? Sorry, you guys. I'm blind today. I'm not used to wearing these glasses. They're very reflective. Got back pain, all that stuff. But I wanted to show up for you guys because this channel is important to me and I want us to all have a community. They BRH, what's up? Hey, Seraphine, welcome in the room. You guys want to all say hi to, oh, Bun Bun took off over there. Um, let's see. So let's go over the first one. I don't know how many people are in here that have caregiver burnout. So, life doesn't stop when you're healing from narcissistic abuse. Hi, Bennett Z1P. Good. How are you? It's good to be back on the live and see you all because I missed the last couple lives. Yes, it's life changing and it's hard and it's a place where you feel completely isolated unless, we get in groups like this, and most people in your life don't understand it. They don't see it because healing is not like you don't have a cheerleading section going, "Hey, you did that." It's not like a level in a game, right? You don't get rewards and to move on to the next level with all this celebration and hoo ha and whatever. It's very hi Brandy, welcome in. How are you doing? It's silent. Healing is very silent, where you have to learn to really validate yourself and celebrate yourself because first and foremost everywhere you've come from up until this point. So I've recently learned self-validation, not to look for that outside of yourself because that's what got us into trouble in the first place with a narcissist, looking for validation outside ourselves. So with the caregiver burnout, you're not just healing, you're exhausted. Thank you for the hearts. Especially with no support. Some of us don't get the luxury of having a supportive family. How many in here can relate to that? Not having a supportive family, family that just doesn't get narcissistic abuse, let alone generational trauma. It can be a very lonely road, where you feel like you're the only one going through this, but there's so many of us out there. Um, and when you have the caregiver burnout, you don't have space to process because someone still needs you. Like, I forget to take care of myself. Can any of you guys relate to that? You get so busy taking care of everybody else, whether, animals, the household. Northern lights are amazing. Oh, I wish I could be there and see them with you. That's so awesome. That would be definitely like a regulating activity for your nervous system. I have this box. See that box on the back on my headboard? That's as closest to the northern lights that I get. I have that on constantly when I'm sleeping. So when I wake up at 2 a.m. and my mind won't shut off, I just stare at the northern lights. Oh, is that what you were talking about? Are you where I thought you were where they are. I have never seen them. Have you? Like in real life? That would be cool. So there's chronically ill, disabled family members, younger children, maybe that you're taking care of, on top of all that. Katie says it feels like seeing a very big wall and trying to figure out how to go beyond while using old tactics. It doesn't work. I feel like a small child at times. Yeah, exactly. And, when we're healing and we get into the generational trauma, we really have to start learning how to parent ourselves because some of us didn't have the luxury of having a healthy mother and father role model for us. So we have to reprogram ourselves and learn how to talk to ourselves, how to navigate life and relationships and communicate. And it's not easy. Like having to parent yourself, it's no joke. Um, see what else. So let me get to my notes here so I can kind of stay on track. And my computer's being very slow. I think I have too much information on here. I need to clean it up. So I want to ask you guys. Oh, it's being stupid. Sorry. I know one thing. Oh, now it's going too fast. Oh, I'm gonna throw this computer out the window. Okay. I wanted to get into rest. So we went over like all the different things on top of life, generational trauma. Some of us have caretaker burnout, and some of us have lost family. Like we have to grieve people that are still alive. That alone is heartbreaking. I think it's even harder than grieving someone that has passed because they're still here and you're not in their life anymore. Um, so all of this causes you extreme exhaustion. And how many of you here feel guilty? Feel guilty because there's so much to do in life. Like life does not stop lifing because we're healing. I wish it did. I wish we had a remote where, okay, we're going to put this on pause, pause life for a little bit so we can heal and get through this stuff. Um, I know I feel guilty. I had to lay down before the live, like force myself to lay down, put the phone down, and just rest. Just do nothing because healing takes so much out of you. If you feel like you're tired all the time, that's probably why. Just exhausted. Um, so survival mode doesn't end just because the relationship did. You're still gonna feel things. I mean, it feels pretty crappy at times. And then other times it feels very freeing. You don't have to put up with the narcissist, walking on the eggshells or wondering, what kind of supply, who are they setting up next for their supply and what's a lie and what's the truth? Because they'll sprinkle little lies with some truth and you can never discern what is what. And now it's so calming to know that that's not your problem anymore. It's somebody else's problem. Mental exhaustion seems to be worse than physical. Yeah, because even when you sleep, like Katie said, you even when you sleep, it just seems like not enough. It's not enough. You're still waking up exhausted because you're constantly processing things and your brain is just nonstop. And how many of you, like, I know when I get sucked into my YouTube, the algorithm is trained for what you watch, and I will just get sucked into video after video after video about healing and generational trauma. And like my mind never gets to shut off. I have to force myself to watch something else, like maybe, something light that you don't really have to think about, like watch animal channels or funny videos or acts of kindness, and just to get your mind off healing and narcissist and what they do. And how many of you in here deal with that? Like you just get sucked into video after video about healing and your just brain never gets to shut down. Okay. Gotta move around, you guys. My neck is hurting. I gotta get a new tripod and everything. So, yeah, survival mode doesn't just end because the relationship did. Got to see if my rabbit fell off the bed or jumped off the bed. And with the adoption trauma, I don't know, are there any adoptees in here? When you have that adoption trauma, there's attachment wounds that come with that. Gosh, my hair's crazy. Attachment wounds. So you're not feeling chosen. You feel like you're replaceable. It doesn't start in adulthood. We all aren't born into the luxury of having two loving parents, let alone one, um, that aren't biological. So when abandonment happens later, especially with a narcissist, it hits 10 times deeper. Yes, Katie. Katie and I are adoptees. Anybody else in here? Even if you weren't adopted, you know how the narcissist will make you feel like you had to earn their love. Now here's Bun Bun if you guys want to see Bun Bun. Haven't seen her in a minute. She's so cute. Hi everybody. So it's like being good enough was always the goal. Yeah, her name's Bun Bun. She's a little dwarf lop rabbit. I used to have two of them, but Lily, but she passed away. She got the snuffles. But the animals are very healing. That's why I have them on my channel sometimes when I go live because they calm your nervous system and they love you unconditionally. Not like some people like narcissist that we were with. Um, so like being good enough was always the goal with the narcissist, right? So when you come from adoption, it feels like that even more so because uh I came from a very abusive narcissistic adoptive situation and I know my friend did too. So that's where we learned those patterns, that was normal. I guess that's how life is. That's how people are going to treat us. And that was the big lie. So you're not overreacting. You're just reacting from a deeper place when you come from adoption trauma. Oh, my neck is hurting so bad. I need a chiropractor. I need something. Okay. Excuse me, you guys. I am just all out of whack today, but I just wanted to show up because last week I had to cancel because I had an empty cup that I could not pour from. So thank you for your understanding about that. Katie says, feeling as if you're good enough was never taught, so it's hard to recognize. Yeah, and that's where the parenting, like parenting ourselves, comes in because we were never taught. We were never given those tools. We were never taught how to love ourselves, how to validate ourselves, to give ourselves self respect. And we were the prime target for a narcissist. That's why a lot of us wound up in that situation with them. Um, so during the healing process, when you become so self-aware and hyper vigilant, you can smell and see through a narcissist pretty quickly. Because we never want to go through that again. That was pure hell. I know you guys all know what I'm talking about. Never want to go down that road again. So um, that leads us into generational trauma. Because these patterns didn't start with that narcissist, that the last relationship that you were in. If you've looked back on your life and you see all the relationships you've been in have been toxic, and you start digging into generational trauma, you might be the first one in your family talking about this. And many of them don't want to talk about it. They get really quiet. Like I put a video out this week. Like you bring up generational trauma and watch how fast a room gets quiet because people don't like talking about it. They're not ready to. They just shove it under the rug and it just keeps repeating itself. So, for those of you that are breaking the generational trauma, kudos to you because it is not a job for the weak, I will tell you. Advice for 8-year-old girl that started her period last week. Mom doesn't know I'm scared. I'm going to have to get a job. She told me when it happens that I'm a grown woman. Um, I don't know about that. I don't know if this is the right place to be asking that. I have no idea. So, if you're the first one in your family even talking about this, you're going to get treated differently. People are going to not know how to respond to that, not want to respond to that. Um, you're breaking patterns that no one else even acknowledges. Like you woke up in a system that still wants you asleep. I'll go yell my teacher. So healing can feel like isolation when you outgrow what raised you and when nobody else is willing to face it with you. And it makes me wonder, it would be really nice if it worked this way where generational trauma and the whole family could work together. I it just sounds like a fairy tale to me. It would be nice if it happened that way, but a lot of us lose family, we lose friends, they don't wanna deal with that stuff. They think that, you're just, holding on to things because you don't wanna get over it or move on, all the things that we've heard from a narcissist that, "Just get over it. Why can't you live for now?" That kind of dismissal, but that's not how it works. Just because they ignore generational trauma does not mean it's not there, you know? Just like the wind, you see the wind blowing the trees and stuff like that with generational trauma, same way it's blowing around people because they're operating out of trauma and toxic dynamics and behaviors. It's the same thing, but people choose, "Oh, I can't see the wind. I can't see generational trauma, so it must not exist." Because they don't know what to look for. They don't want to deal with it because it's not easy work. As you all know, it's not easy work. So healing can feel like isolation when you outgrow what raised you. And then you're grieving on top of that generational trauma, losing people that are still alive. That's one of the hardest griefs ever, to lose someone that's still alive. You didn't lose them to death, you lost them to awareness. You woke up and they chose to stay asleep, or they chose to still point the finger at you, and you're the villain. You're the problem. Um, yeah, so losing them to death, you didn't lose them to death, you lost them to awareness. You lost them because you woke up and they chose not to. Has anybody here had to walk away from people they never thought they would have to? Give you guys a chance to answer while I stretch my back. Yeah, I remember laying on my stomach as a kid and it didn't bother me like it does now. Others want you to ignore the action so they don't have to be accountable or responsible. Yep, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, they get very uncomfortable with that. Um, that grief doesn't get support. It gets questioned. Like you're always made out to be the oddball out. Um, it's very lonely and isolating. And then life demands bills, health, work, doctor's appointments. If you're a caregiver, um, you're trying to heal while you're still surviving your life. So your nervous system never feels safe. It's hard to keep grounded. Like it is a lot of hard work to reprogram your brain because it's neuroplastic, to reprogram your brain to that's why I always say it's so important, you guys, to sit in silence with yourself. No phone, no TV, no nothing, nobody next to you, in private, and just sit in silence. And the reason I say that is because that is where you gain clarity. That is where you start to hear your own voice, and the noise pollution from the world, from other people, from social media, from all of it will become clearer the more and more that you do that. And when you can think clearer, you can make better decisions about your life, about your goals, about other people, who and what you allow into your life, and at what level. Um, I am the unfun one. Yeah, we're the unfun ones because we're real. We talk about real shit. And not everybody's ready to do that. Not everybody's willing to face that. I've had people tell me, "I subscribe to your channel, but I don't watch it because I don't wanna deal with all that stuff. I don't wanna remember all that stuff. It's too painful for some people." But to me, like, healing I don't know if you guys remember that show. There was a show on I don't remember what channel it was because I don't have cable anymore. I watch everything on YouTube. But it was about facing your fears. Like exposure therapy is really what healing generational trauma is. It's exposure therapy because if you don't deal with it, you're just shoving it under the rug. And it's gonna come back later in some other way, and then people try to numb it with alcohol, with drugs, with working too much, with working out too much, with shopping therapy, with whatever it is, to an excessive point to deal with it. That's how it comes out. And then you're maybe a jerk to other people because you have anger that you haven't dealt with. You have all that trauma stored up in your body and it has to come out in some way. That's why, healing isn't a peaceful retreat. It's happening in real life chaos. So when I tell you guys it's important to be alone with yourself so you can gain clarity, because it's like, okay, here's an analogy. You're going down the road in the car, the road in the car you're driving, and your window it's full of bird poop and dirt and stuff, and you can't see. So you have to clean the windshield. So when you're sitting alone with yourself in peace and quiet, that is where you're cleaning your windshield. So you can see where you're going. So you can navigate. So you're not running people over and animals over and running into phone poles and getting into accidents and stuff like that. It's the same analogy. A lot of people just won't acknowledge, face uncomfortable situations. Yeah. And we all choose and have our own journey to face things in our own time. And it's so frustrating though, because get my glasses. It's frustrating because you want people to wake up. You just want to shake them and say, "Wake up! Wake up! Do you not see what's going on?" How my hair is crazy today. Um, so yeah, it's because it's deep. Not everybody knows how to get deep. Not everybody is willing to feel uncomfortable before they feel more comfortable. It's like when you go to the gym, and your muscles hurt, and that's what healing is like, you know? I missed your last live and that bugged me, but you addressed a comment I made on a post, just letting you know it helped a lot. Thanks, Glennis. Oh, thank you, Deanna. Which one was it? And I wasn't on for the last two Sundays because last week my cup was empty and I had to have some self care. I needed to rest. I had to force myself to rest because that's part of healing. And then the weekend before that, I believe, was Easter. But what was the comment on the post? Because it really helps me to know that I'm helping you, because that's my goal. That's my whole goal with this channel is to heal along with you guys in real time and to help you, to help others. Yeah, the windshield. Or like a foggy mirror when you get out of the shower or the bath, you can't see yourself. You can't see yourself if you're not sitting by yourself in silence. You're gonna hear everything else, all the world noise and demands of life, and I'm telling you, I get some great video ideas when I'm sitting by myself. But yeah, Deanna, if you could tell me what video or comment that was or post that was, that would really help me because I like to meet you where you guys are. She was so happy to see you think. Not sure what that means, but I'm glad she's happy to see me think. Uh, okay. Well, what else? We were talking about life demands, bills, health, work, doctor's appointments, finances, trying to heal while you're surviving your life. How many of you feel like you don't even have time to fall apart? I'm curious. Right. Excuse me. There's a bunch of hair in this room. All my fur babies. Like life keeps going no matter what you're carrying. Happening in real life chaos. So when you say, why don't I feel better yet? It's not because you're healing from one thing, you're healing from layers of stuff, depending on your situation, whether that be mine, for example, adoption, caregiver burnout, being a single parent of an adult child with chronic illnesses and very isolating, losing my entire family due to healing and generational trauma and adoption. Um, so it's a lot to deal with. And whatever your situation is, what you guys are dealing with, it doesn't make it easier. Should I give you $10,000 in the chat? Who has that kind of money? That would be cool in my dreams. Sometimes there is no time to breathe deeply. Yeah, no time to breathe deeply, but that is one of the important things of healing is learning, making absolute a priority to for self-care, rest, exercise, even if you're just walking around the block. Sometimes I just walk around my block here, the complex, and do the somatic exercises, shaking the trauma out of your body because it gets stored up. Your body holds on to that trauma and it has to have somewhere to go. The last live was about if you're still living with the narcissist, because that's me. I don't know when I can be free of him. I remember that live, Deanna. Yes, and Katie was right. She helped me remember that, yeah, you were still in that situation. How's everything going? Are you able to use Gray Rock very much? And I know some of the things that I say on my videos might not be a good thing to if they're dangerous, if they're very violent. I don't know that, but I certainly don't want to give you advice that's gonna, trigger that narcissist. Guess the best thing is Gray Rock and just, they like when we agree with everything because they do nothing wrong. Is there any chance in the near future that you will be able to be free of that, Deanna? I hope. My heart goes out to you. It really does. I couldn't imagine still being in that situation because healing is so much harder when you're in that environment. So healing from layers. What layer are you guys dealing with right now? And do you feel like people only saw the relationship you were in, but not everything underneath it? They have no clue. And that's what makes this so isolating because people have no clue. Unless they have been in it, like we all have, they have no idea. All right. Once you make a working plan and have started using your plan steps, you'll continue moving forward to your goal. Yes. Write it out. Put it on a whiteboard in front of you. Put it on stickies. Because what you constantly think about is what you eventually move on. It's weird, Katie. It says 0 in the room, and you're in here. Going to call a women's helpline soon rather than in the moment when I'm scared or upset because my spouse is yelling and punching walls. Yes, that's a good plan, Deanna. 'Cause there is help out there. And I know I've been down that road. I've gone to a shelter before, not with this last relationship, but the only marriage that I had, I went to a shelter. It turned out to be a very good experience for me and my daughter. But it's scary because you don't know the people, you don't know the environment you're going into. But they had classes every day. There was other, of course, women there I could talk to, and they helped me get into a house and with the down payment and all that stuff. So there is help out there to get you on your feet. It's just uncharted waters, so it's very scary for a lot of women to make that move and financial fear and everything, but they will help you with all of that. They've helped so many women, and I will be so happy the day you get free. So please keep in touch and let us know. And ARC will always breadcrumb you to keep you. Yeah, they will. He's going to use all kinds of tactics, and I mean, although narcissists play from the same playbook, the different types of narcissists will play a little bit differently depending on the situation. So there's some that will beg you to stay. There's some that will get violent when you leave. There's some that will threaten to off themselves. There's some that will act like they don't care, but later they will stalk you. It's just the one thing they all have in common with that playbook, it's manipulation and deception and twisting the narrative. They all play from that same playbook. Narcissists do that to distract you from leaving them. They don't love you, but need you as an object of energy supply. Yes, they do. Because they are so empty and hollow inside, they need the energy from everybody external, from the outside. They're like energy sucking vampires. But getting through all my notes here, you guys. I'm very exhausted, but I'm here and I've got the brain fog. So you guys always got me in the live. When I'm in a live, it's raw and real. I'm not all put together and like professional and nice and neat and pretty like these big content creators. And I want to do that for a reason. That's why I do my lives because this is real life. And I want you guys to be able to relate to that because I'm healing in real time with all of you. So I want to say this about all this is you're not failing at healing. Sometimes you're carrying more than people realize. I always go back to Chester Bennington. Even though you could hear it in his lyrics, how much he was hurting and all the trauma, still he felt like people didn't understand. It's that silent suffering that you don't see. So you really need to have grace for yourself through this journey and process, self care, being gentle with yourself. It's really takes a lot of work and determination, but you can do it. Reparenting yourself, just That's why it's so important. I can't stress enough, you guys, to sit in silence every day. And the more times a day you can do that, the better. But start out with baby steps. Start out with maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes of maybe when you wake up in the morning, don't pick up your phone. Just lay there in bed and breathe and think and let that clarity come to you. Um, because like I said, always remember that the foggy mirror when you get out of the shower, you can't see anything. So you need to sit there and clean that windshield wiper. That's when you're sitting alone so you can see things clearly, make better decisions. Um, Listen to your thoughts because there's that negative chitter chatter that when we have grown up that maybe necessarily wasn't always said, but it made us feel less than, invisible, like our feelings did not matter. Um, oh gosh, and I wish I could learn how to put a video on here in the background because recently I just saw this video. It's all over YouTube. And I forgot the guy's name, but he's filming a a time where he brought his son back and his kids back from visitation back to their mother's house and the stepfather, and the son did not want to go back. He wanted to stay with his father. And this narcissistic mother was having a meltdown on camera, did not care, knew she was being filmed, and was trying to put her hand through the window while the father-in-law was trying to force the window down to almost look like he was going to break it. And just, I don't know where I was going with that. I got brain fog right here, right now. I don't know why I brought that up. Um, from being in those situations when we were children, like that. Toxic situations like that, where parents were acting narcissistic. She was acting like he was her property. She was saying to the cop that, "This is my kid." She didn't care that the son was saying, "I don't want to go with you. You're always arguing, you're always fighting. You pushed me up against the wall the other day." And she didn't care. It went in one ear and out the other. It was all about her and did not care what he was saying. She did not hear, she was completely tuning it out. He was saying, "Stop, stop." She was trying to get in the door and open the door, the handle, and she didn't care. She was not listening whatsoever. So a lot of us grew up like that, where we were just not heard at all. Our parents didn't care how we felt. It was all about them, and we were managing their emotions and tiptoeing around them and walking on eggshells and don't say this because that'll piss off mom or dad or so we're having to deal with all of that and retrain how we think and how we feel about ourselves, and it's challenging. If you've had a whole life of that, I'm gonna be 59 this year, and having a whole lifetime of that, and now trying to reparent yourself, it's a challenge. But learning how to be gentle with yourself, just a few minutes a day, staying and sit with yourself in silence and listen so you get that clarity so that fog on the window dissipates so you have a clean windshield, you can drive through life and see where you're going. Think clearer, make better decisions. Movement, shaking it out, hydrate yourself because when you're not hydrated and you're not eating right and you're not getting shaking that trauma out of your body, exercising that trauma out because it has to go somewhere. Um, Healing will be a lot easier. No, just self-care. Self-care, I know it's hard, you guys, trust me. Because with the demands of life on top of it, and you just have to force yourself. Like, sometimes I have to force myself to eat. You guys? Yes, have a good let me see. Reminder for self-care. Does everyone have a good hydrating drink? Yes, hydration, water. I drink ice drinks a lot. I know I should probably drink more water but I love these. I'm addicted to these. But at least I'm getting something in my body. Narcs enjoy causing drama. They receive energy from your dismay. They will purposely harm children. Yeah, it's so disturbing, isn't it? It is so sad that they just can't see what they're doing. But it makes me wonder now. I'm gonna try to find a way to make a video that has that in the background. um, where I can show you guys that video, and it's just so disturbing her behavior and how she just sees him as her property, like narcissists do. Like nothing that he was feeling. He was so dysregulated. The poor kid. He was 17, or was he 14 at the time? 14 at the time. And you would think that's old enough to decide if you can live with one parent or not, but the cop told him he could go live with his father. He lived with his father for 3 months, and then she took him back to court, and the judge gave her back custody when he did not want to go with her, and she didn't care. She did not care. If that was me, I would let my child, "You wanna go live with your father? Sure. If that makes you more happy, sure." But no, not with narcissist. That doesn't work like that. You're my property. But I'm pretty sure now he doesn't talk to her or have anything to do with her at all. So anything you guys wanna talk about in here today? Where are you at in your healing? What are you struggling with the most? What layers are you peeling back that you're struggling with? Is it hard for you to sit alone with your thoughts? I know a lot of people have busier households than me. Um, Mine's pretty quiet for the most part, unless I'm, having to regulate my daughter with all that she's dealing with. They can see what they are doing. They just want anyone's energy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she can see herself now. She's all over the internet. Here's Bun Bun. Come here, Bun Bun. You know, I set this up today to where I could have someone come on here and talk, but I don't know how to do it. That's the green screen. We don't want that. Okay, green screen, go away. I did this last time. I guess this is where I can put the video on there so you guys can see. Wonder if I can look it up. No, I have to have saved the video to my phone first. Dang it. Okay, so we can't do that. Hang on. Let's see what this does. Oh, it puts a background in there. That's kind of cool. I wonder if Giuseppe's in here. Giuseppe said he was going to show up, but I have not seen him yet. Okay, I don't want that background thing. Let's just do the animals here. Oh, okay, no green screen. There we go. Okay, what's this? 49-second short was uploaded. Oh, okay. So if I want to upload a 49-second clip, I do that. So I'm just waiting, you guys. I'm just kind of playing with my phone to see if you guys want to talk about anything or talk about, what is your struggles with the healing process, layers of here's Bun Bun. What layer are you pulling back? Are you jumping into generational trauma, losing family that's still alive, grieving them, self-care, any of it? I want energy and motivation back. I feel like I'm still being drugged back to being an object. Wow, I can feel that. Yeah, motivation and energy because it's so draining. to heal. But yet, we've all seen it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. So we can't go back to the old way. We just have to keep moving forward and the energy and motivation. And I know that Katie, you're doing like supplements and that kind of self-care and trying to sleep more. And it's hard too. This is what I want to talk about is like broken sleep. That's why I got that northern light that you see on my ceiling. To try to help me I just stare at that, kind of like fish in a fish tank, to try to get me back to sleep again. And Katie, what do you do when your sleep is disrupted all the time? Because your brain you can't shut it off. Is there anything that you have done that works for you? Bun Bun is scratching. She's going like this to the blanket. She's so cute. Any self-care ideas are always welcome here, besides the ones that I've mentioned, hydration, all of it, has to do with your healing. And first and foremost, like just getting all that trauma out of your body because it's stored there and it will remain stored there until you get it out somehow. And I didn't know that before. I think on my last live, I said, when I was with that narcissist, I got him to join this men's group, which helped men get more into their bodies. It was men that was addicted to porn and objectifying women, and they didn't know how to communicate. Um, and I thought it was the strangest thing because I didn't understand it at first, but there was exercises that would say getting back into your body, and I didn't know what that meant, because he was talking about trauma and getting out of here because this is the reactive instead of responsive. And when you get into your body, you're able to calm down and wait a minute and think about what was said rather than reacting like at the hip like that because when in your head like that you're not able to do that. You're just reactive to everything. And so I thought it was weird that he was doing things like growling like a bear and taking cold showers, punching pillows. And I was like, "What? Why?" I thought it was just so bizarre. But then the more that I looked into it, I was like, "Oh, okay, this makes complete sense that trauma lives in your body." And that's why you always felt so crazy with the narcissist because they would tell you that you were crazy, but your body knew. Your body knows when you're being betrayed. Your body knows when you're being deceived. That drop in your stomach, it knows. It knows before your brain does. So all of that, getting that trauma out of your body is vital to healing. It really, really is. It's so important. I never caught alive. Hi, Honey Pepper. I'm so glad you're here. I know who you are. Welcome in. This live has been about healing and how sometimes, a lot of the times, it feels worse before it feels better. And I was talking about things like, how people think that it ends once the narcissistic relationship ends, like a light switch, but it really doesn't because once you start gaining clarity, and see a clearer picture that maybe you look back on your life and you see that it didn't just start with the narcissist. It's generational trauma, it's toxic patterns that we were conditioned to believe as children. And then I was talking about how healing on top of life demands makes it extra challenging. And then when you may be a caregiver, you may have children that you're taking care of, I have an adult child that has chronic illness and disabilities, so I have caregiver burnout that adds to it. So, and then losing some family when you're healing because you're changing, and a lot of people don't like that. Grieving those people that are still alive, talking about all that, how that's why it seems like your nervous system just can't relax. For most of us, the abuse started due to our birth. Yes, generational trauma, stuff that we didn't ask for. I gotta stretch out my neck again, you guys. I remember laying on my stomach all the time as a kid, and it did not bother me at all. But now I can't do it anymore. Getting old sucks. It really does. So, how are you doing, Honey Pepper? How is the healing going? What are some of you guys struggling with? What are some good things that you've noticed about your healing? Some positive things? I know I'll share mine while you guys are maybe thinking about answering, or if you don't want to, that's fine too. I'm just trying to get you guys involved. Um, One of the things I notice is that I really learn how to respond versus react. When somebody says something that upsets me or triggers me, I will wait now instead of responding like off the hip. I'll wait and I'll think about it and I'll say, okay, why am I feeling this way? What is this triggering in me? Where is that person coming from? Um, and it helps so much. And then I make a discernment that is this person worth responding to? Because some people just want your energy. They just want to get a reaction out of you. A lot of that has happened, people coming into my comments and stuff like that. It's really helped me to exercise that muscle of response versus reaction. And it makes a huge difference. Like it saves you so much energy when you're able to. Oh, shoot, I missed some of these. Didn't sign up for any of this. Off the bat, that is a very valuable point. Trauma does live in your body. When the narcissist left, I stopped clearing my throat unnecessarily. As soon as they came back, it automatically started. So that was like a nervous thing for you, honey. That was your body's response to not being heard. Thanks for asking. It's been up and down. I wish it were linear. Yeah, that's another thing about healing. It's a journey, not a destination. It's not a straight point from A to B. It's like a freaking roller coaster. It's like this. You'll be like this for a little bit, and then there it goes again. Crazy, kind of like a dance. Yeah. Well, I'm glad for the up parts, but unfortunately, the down parts are part of it too. Kind of like coping meh. Healing will never be linear. Coping mechanism? Yes, I think that's what you meant. Yes, mechanism. Yeah, exactly. Like a nervous twitch, or, biting your fingernails, or I don't know. I can't think of any other things at the moment. See, how long have we been on? 58, almost an hour. If Deanna's still in here. So anything you guys want to talk about? Any like things that you have learned about yourself in healing that have helped you feel like you're making progress? Gotta put my glasses on. Gotta sit up for a minute. I don't like these glasses because they got bifocals in them, and it's so weird. I never got used to it. You know what I don't like about them? They create codependent situations. Punching down to make yourself small is another body response. Yes. They create codependent situations. Yes, they love codependent people. Yeah, they like use your vulnerabilities against you. Okay, good, Deanna. I'm glad you're still here. Well, this is one of my shirts, you guys. It's better to be alone than to wish that you were. I don't know if I wore this the last time. But I have to fix this because I want the words to come up more like this. It's hard making a shirt. It's harder than I thought. And then on the back, I have there's healing and solitude. Like they financially abuse you and then play the victim of what they created. Every single time they do. Yep, absolutely. They're always the victim. Always, always, always. I would love to hear. I'm opening it up just for you guys to share. If you guys have any, I'd love to celebrate you guys because healing is extremely lonely. Hi, Stargazer. Hey, I recognize you. Welcome. Welcome in. How are you doing? Why do they always make unnecessary noises? I don't get that. Like what noises, honey? Is the codependency related to trauma bonding? Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand, Deanna, because we all have attachment styles and you know the narcissist makes us believe that we cannot make it without them. How many of the narcissists that you were with said you can't make it without me or you'll never find anybody better than me or nobody's going to want you? They definitely want you codependent. And it goes hand in hand under the same umbrella. Yes, noise is a weapon for a narc. You know what the narc I was with always did? It was highly annoying. He would burp and then he would say the word burp. Why? He used to annoy my daughter too so much. I'm like, "Why?" He wouldn't do it when he farted though. He would just say burp and then burp. Like, why do you have to announce it? We know it's a burp. It's just to be annoying. Yep, a weapon. Just like Katie said, it's a weapon. They love to annoy you and get under your skin. Okay, let's see. Like, I live under the same roof with the narcissist. I leave out for work as soon as I come back. They're dropping things, start stomping around and the like. Yeah, P says I'll never make it without him and I'd have to marry someone with money. He's so damn insecure. Yeah. But they're grown though. That's the annoying point. They're grown. Yeah, but they're still children. They have the mind of a child. They're just in adult bodies with adult privileges. And it is annoying. It's highly annoying to create aggravation to get you to provide them energy. Yes, because they need the fuel. They need the fuel of your reactions. They love your reactions. Whether they're negative or positive, they'll take it. It's like unleaded fuel or leaded fuel. Fuel is fuel. So then we starve them of it. Let them run on empty. Let them go find the fuel somewhere else. So there's two of you in here still living with the narcissist. Honey Pepper, is there any hope for you being able to get out of that situation anytime soon? I think I've gone over everything in my notes here, so I'm just kind of leaving it open to whatever you guys want to talk about. I wish they never will age out of it, but they actually age into it. Yeah, they're forever children. The mindset is they just get stuck. They're stunted. It's stunted emotional growth. That's the million-dollar question. Mhm. Yeah, they won't. Even like self-aware narcissist, I don't they're still a narcissist. And that's what's so dangerous about them is because I don't know if you guys have seen it, but on social media platforms, there's like the healed narcissists. I don't remember their names. And it's so dangerous for people in those dynamics because they think there's hope. They still hold on to the potential. Still working on that. They financially abused me, so I have to start from scratch. Wow, that's rough. A narc doesn't age in their mind. They expect you to be their parent that they hate. Mm-hmm. Yep. Or their therapist. They want you to be their therapist because everything's about them. Yeah, the financial abuse is it's no joke. And they can use it in an opposite way. Towards the end of when I was with the narc, he used to always pretty be pre be pretty generous about money. But at the end, I could tell he knew that his time was coming to an end and he stopped offering to pay for things. So we both knew that it was coming to an end. So they can use money as a weapon to feel like, make it look like they are so generous and helpful. But that's only for their persona, for the mask, for their act and performance. It's a check off the box transaction. Only if it works in their favor. Gonna have to get one of those northern lights. I love it. So relaxing and colorful. Yeah, and like I was saying, when I wake up in the middle of the night, because I'll just wake up from a nightmare and like I can't breathe. And it's not because I have sleep apnea. It's from panic, like my body. And I just stare at that, and within a matter of minutes, I go back to sleep. Narcs need an object to hate, otherwise, they would have to introspect. That'll never happen. No, it won't. Never. There'll be a cold day in hell. Oh, what the heck is on the walls? Ugh, how did that get on the wall? Hmm. Okay, well, I thought of something else to talk about. Well, you guys are, if you just want to listen, that's fine. But I just wanted to open it up in case you guys wanted to talk about anything. Um, a narc will never educate because they'd lose their supply options. Definitely more awareness of types of narcissistic traits and such. Yeah, social media helps that a lot. Thank God. Thankfully, because what would we do without the internet? I wish we would have had this like years and years ago. So we could have been more aware years and years ago, but it's definitely getting spread out there about narcissistic abuse and signs. And we want it to be where the narcissist supply dwindles down. And I've seen cute little bunny behind you. You almost said, "Oh, that's Bun Bun." Let me show you Bun Bun. Come here, Bun Bun. This is Bun Bun. She is my little dwarf lop bunny, and she used to have a pen mate in her pen, Lily, but Lily passed away from snuffles. It's like a cold for rabbits. We were children. We wouldn't understand the intensity. Yeah. How could we? We're young, impressionable minds and looking up to the adults that were supposed to care for us and love us. You like that, Bun Bun? She's not trying to get away. She's saying hi to everybody. And animals are a lifesaver. They are so unconditional. You don't have to worry about them lying to you and cheating on you and abusing you in any way. She likes this. She's going to sleep. Oh, that's what I was gonna say, you guys. So remember I was talking about, I don't know if you guys have this issue where you just get sucked into healing videos or videos about narcissistic abuse, and it's not hard to do, like watch one video after another and another. And so I had to force myself. I asked ChatGPT, I said, "What movie could I watch that has is healing? I don't want any romance. I don't want none of that." And it came up with The Secret Life of Mitty. What was it, Katie? I think I told you about it. That's the ironic thing. After living with them for long, they become even more of a stranger to you. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like you're sleeping next to a stranger. My dog, oh, I thought my dog was going to poop on the floor. Yeah, sleeping next to a stranger. Walter Mitty, thank you. Have any of you seen that? Deanna, you've seen it? It made me cry in the end. It was such a good movie about, just really living your life and being who you are. And in the end, I loved it when he told that guy off in the office, like, "Do you know the office motto?" He didn't know it because he didn't care. I only thought a narcissist was a person that admired theirself in the mirror or was highly vain. I used to too, Stargazer, but there's so much more to them. There's so much more layers. Yeah, that's what a lot of people thought. Oh, I think, did you pee? I think Bun Bun peed on the bed. Yeah, unfortunately, it goes deeper than that. Yep, it's all about them, me. And then there was another movie I watched. Katie, do you remember what I told you what that second movie was? Um, Walter Mitty. All I thought was that they were just highly vain and on themselves. That's the tip of the iceberg. And then all the abusive stuff. Yeah, I know, right? They are horrible. Horrible. They don't care about anybody. Kind of angry at myself for not knowing. You know what? You didn't know though. You really, how could you? I mean, because and the way that you think and that we think, um, we don't think like them. So it's hard to, that's why we gave them so many chances, because it's hard to wrap our minds around someone that would think and act like that because they make us believe that they love us, the love bombing, all of it. And you have every right to be angry. And yes, we are all angry about that part. It's normal and it's okay. Feel that anger. Feel that anger. Go punch a pillow. Kick a bag, kick some rocks, scream, get it all out. You have every right, and it's normal to be angry. My neck is killing me. I've got to order a tripod. Come up here, Bun Bun. Come here, Bun Bun. 74 minutes. Who thinks like that? Exactly. Who thinks like that? Who wakes up looking for a target to bully? Yep, they do. It's disturbing, I know. And it's something that we will never be able to fully understand because it's not meant for us to understand. We don't operate like that. I couldn't. No, because my society of growing up never mentioned how horrible they were. All they said was that they're in the mirror admiring themselves all the time, and I thought, "Okay." Yeah, and you didn't realize how deeply that went until you were in it, but that's not your fault. How could you have known? How could any of us have known? Because the trauma bond comes into play and those brain chemicals, it's just like, a drug addict. It's the same chemicals of dopamine, cortisol, dopamine, cortisol. Your brain is being flooded, your whole body is being flooded, and you're disoriented. So, how can you know? You can't think clearly when you're with them. It just doesn't work because they're always there trying to trip you up somehow. Thank you for the hearts. Hi, Mary Mother. Welcome in. Thank you for the prayers and the hearts and all of that. How are you? We're just talking about how healing feels worse before better. And the reasons why is because we're peeling back layers from generational trauma on top of, life demands, losing people and family, grieving people that are alive, because when you heal, you'll lose people. You picked your husband so that you could receive love from your mother. I did it too. In the end, you realize you were never the problem. I just want to thank you, and I love your name, Shredding Silence, because so many people would rather me remain quiet. Thank you, and thank you for being here. I love what you're saying. It's so deep and you're very accurate. Thank you so much. You rock. Oh, thank you, Mary. Thank you, guys. That means a lot. I'm glad that my message is reaching people and that I'm putting the message out there because I never thought I would be here. I was forced to have to study about them, a subject that I never wanted to learn in the first damn place. I'm right there with you. I think we all are. I don't think any of us want to know. It's hell. Y'all know. I don't even have to say anything. Y'all know. We know what we're talking about. Well, oh shoot, as Katie did for real. She did what for real? We're family, no shame, no guilt. This is awesome, baby girl. Yes, this is what I wanted. I want to build a whole community where people don't feel alone. We get each other. We don't have to explain because you get it, you've lived it, and just a non judgmental, no pressure kind of place. Because we've had too much of that our whole lives. And with the narcissistic abuse, like there needs to be a safe place to land. And even like, I don't know about you guys, but I pretty much live like a hermit. I go to work, I go to the grocery store. I try not to leave the house if I don't have to, because what's out there is not fun. There's so many unhealed people. You're right, you have joined the unlicensed detective club. Yeah, what Katie said about the mother's lack of love and hoping to get that from your spouse. Yes. Without people like you speaking out, it would make some of us out here healing journeys that much harder. So thank you again for speaking out. And thank you too, Honey Pepper. I believe that your channel is about narcissistic abuse. I've seen some of your videos. Thank you. Thank you for speaking and not staying silent. Thank you for shredding the silence. Yes, I hope to get more of you out, more of us on here. I know not everybody likes to be on video, or this might not be their thing, but yes, all the healed hearts. I never thought I would be doing this, but it's been healing. Thank God for social media because it's helped me heal too. I'm healing right along with you guys, and I don't know what I would do without the social media because sometimes just writing it down like a diary doesn't help. And sometimes you talk to people and they don't get it, but we all get it, and that's what's so awesome about creating a space like this. So I said the weird thing. What's the weird thing? I'll have to check out your channel, Honey Pepper. What's the channel called? You could just click on her name, Deanna, and it'll take you to her channel, and you could subscribe. I wish I could get one of you guys on here to talk so we can like talk like we're on the phone kind of thing. Before I went on the live, I clicked it, invite people to your channel, but now I don't see where that option is to get somebody on here so we can actually have a live conversation. What is this? Playables? Choose a game to stream with. Does this mean we can all play a game? That's new. Chat filter. No. Top messages, all messages, show every message, none. Top fans. Oh, you guys get points. I wonder how these points work. Katie's the top fan. You got 150 points. And then Deanna has 125. PS5 is 75. I don't know what all this means. Uh, huh. So different from TikTok. Eventually I'll get this, but for now it's raw and unfiltered, like healing. The playbook is mad. The only option I get is block or report. I am there finally being outed on social media. Yeah, and they come up in your they'll come up in my conversations and I welcome it. They come up in my videos and you can tell immediately, "Oh, you must be a narcissist because I hit a nerve. You're projecting." It helps me with the response versus reaction muscle. Playbook is mad. Yeah, the NARC playbook that they all have. My God, you guys, my neck. I need one of those massage things that go around your neck. I've seen them and they have like infrared or they heat up and stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think the worst part is being victimized a second time when you try and tell people in authority what you've been going through and they dismiss you because they think, no, that can't be happening. Yeah. Yep. They gaslight you and they dismiss you and they don't believe you and it's maddening. And the projection, it is wild. You probably need infrared, I was just going to say. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about, Honey Pepper? Those things, they're kind of weighted, I've heard, and you just put them around your neck and they have the balls in there and then the infrared stuff. Always honor your vibes, good or bad. Plan accordingly from there. I'm a big fan of Cheshire Cat. Smile and then about left and leave. Yes, that's a good plan. Uh, Only thing is it's expensive on Amazon. What do they run about? Ugh, my neck is always hurting. So that's trauma, tension and trauma. Wonder if it ever goes away. Do you guys feel like that? Like you're always having to calm your nervous system about something? Like it's just I don't know if there's a point where you get where it's less and less that you have to regulate your nervous system or this is an ongoing thing because life never stops. 119 and up. Oh, yeah, right now I'll just have to use a heating pad and just massage it myself. Yeah, I can't sit like that no more. I'm not 10 years old. I can't lay on my stomach. My daughter's, she sees a specialist not a regular chiropractor that, cracks your back. He doesn't do any cracking. He deals with the Atlas and the C1 and C2, and he said the worst position you can sleep on is your stomach because it will knock your neck out of alignment. And once everything's out of alignment, it causes all kinds of chaos with other things. So it's probably not the best position for me to be in. I just need to buy another tripod so I can see you guys better. Yeah, so basically right now, you guys, it's just free talk. I've talked about pretty much everything on the podcast live that I wanted to. Narcs will always cover for another narc. They all receive energy from each other. Yeah, they all have to show off for each other. Isn't it wild how you can sometimes see yourself verbatim in other people's stories when they speak out about the atrocities they've been through with the narcissist? Yeah, you're like, oh my God, that's me. Because they play from that same playbook. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's so validating, isn't it? Because 'Cause you're like, "Wow, I wasn't crazy because they went through it too." It's very validating. That's why narcs probably hate all these narcissist-aware channels like Shredding Silence and Honey Pepper and everybody else out there spreading awareness. I get most tense between my shoulder blades. How do you deal with that, Katie? What helps it? It's going to say the same thing, absolutely, same playbook. Yep, very validating. And that's why we get, like I remember when I first learned about narcissistic abuse and got so hooked, like binge watching other creators, about narcissism and because it's so validating and you're so thirsty for that validation because they didn't validate you. They did quite the opposite. So Um, I did that for a long time, for years before I started making videos, at least a couple years before I started, social media. On TikTok, it started. And then I had to move into the next level to not get stuck there because you can get stuck there so easily. Move to the next level of healing with self awareness. It's the definition of madness. They do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Yep, and they never reflect, never ever reflect. What blows my mind is that I survived from one, the dark triad. Same here, the dark triad. Yeah, it's funny, I did a video on that dark triad, and people thought I was talking about myself. It's good I got interaction though, but people don't get it that I'm not saying I'm the dark triad. I am talking about how they think. Talk about the upcoming movie, Narcissist Playbook. Hey, did we ever find out when that is coming out, Katie? I have not researched it anymore. They don't grow up like normal people. It's shocking when you find out that he couldn't get any worse than it was. Yeah, and you know what else is shocking is, you don't think that they've crossed a certain line. Like, I don't know if you guys went through this, but I thought, "Okay, he would never do that." Like, I'd hear Lee Hammock talk about, the self-aware narcissist, talk about, they'll threaten to off themselves, and I thought, "He'd never do that, he's never done that." But then, not too long after that, he used that line. He's like, "Oh, now I'm depressed. No, I'm suicidal." You know? And my daughter used to always be afraid that he was gonna harm us, like And I said, "Nah, he'd never cross that line. Never doubt what they can do." Um, movement, stretching, drinking some cold water helps your that soreness in your back. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to stretch after this live. Where can we watch the Narc movie when it comes out? I think it's gonna be on YouTube, right, Katie? Have you heard any more about it? I wish we could watch it all together. Wouldn't that be cool? And then we could just like discuss it afterwards. But if not, we can definitely have a live, and I will still try to figure out how to get you guys on here, so we can talk about it. I hear them say that all narcissists are not psychopaths, but all psychopaths are narcissists. I've heard that too. That would be super cool. It would be. I know there's a way to do it. I just got to research and find out. And then we're all in different time zones, so it'd be kind of hard to coordinate that. But if we're all on this live, we can coordinate it at a certain time, but I don't know. I'm still new at YouTube. I know there's so much stuff I can do with YouTube. Like I have seen people come on there and have, videos in the background, have people talking on the lives, and then they watch clips of stuff. I'll have to figure it out, you guys, because that would be super cool. Like a girly movie day. Not as of yet. They're asking for more donations to complete the movie. Hmm. So is this like a who is I wonder who's behind the documentary, because when I went to the website, it doesn't look like they've been on YouTube for very long. Like it's a fresh channel. So I'm trying to find out who is behind the making of the documentary. Man, wish I could put you guys up here. This is just it's too low. And I never did get another tripod. I'm just going to hold you guys. Honey Pepper, what's your channel called, please? I can't find it. I thought if you just click on her name, Deanna, can you click on her name? Welcome in, whoever is in here. This is kind of like an open discussion now. We were just talking about how, after narcissistic abuse, that people think that you just move on and get better and heal. But sometimes you open up it's like peeling back layers of an onion when you get into generational trauma. You have life's demands on top of it, financial, just everything life is demanding of you. Losing family when you're healing, and that's why you feel worse before you get better. Let's see. Tried that. Only option I get is block or report. Narcs can get worse. It's called death. Not all narcs will end you, but they all want to watch you end yourself. The Wizard of Radical Acceptance does that with his audience all the time. Watch document Wizards of Radical Acceptance. I'm going to have to write that down. I know there's a way to do it, so I'll check out some of his. Let me put this in my notes so I don't forget. Wizard of Radical Acceptance. Because that would be awesome. Maybe by the time I figure it out, the documentary will come out. The Wizard. Radical Acceptance. So will he play like he plays like a whole documentary? Oh yeah, audience all the time watches documentaries. And then they're able to, as they're watching it together, obviously, text on the screen, or does he have people actually talking, like joining the live? Watch documentary together. I was actually lucky enough to meet other types of narcissists, such as communal, and you can definitely tell the difference. Oh, tell me that story because I after I left this last narcissist, he was a covert malignant and I ran into a communal. He was a caretaker and he was always volunteering. He tried to get me to volunteer, but you could tell that it was all transactional. Like any time we'd interact, it was all about him. He did not want to get to know me as a person. It was about him, 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 him. He would call me and just talk about himself and or sit in silence. And I was like, this is icky. And he was a communal. Tell me about yours, Stargazer. It's the Wizard of Radical the Wizard of Radical self-respect. Okay, so it's not acceptance. Self-respect. So that's his channel name. Radical self-respect. And it's so funny that radical self-acceptance. I know you said self-respect, but radical self-acceptance. I remember when the narcissist went to therapy. He tried to go on his own one time, and for of course, transaction for show. And they learned the language. So whatever language the therapist was talking to, he would use it on me like, "Oh, you and your tactics. That's one of your tactics." Tactics. Yeah, okay. So I changed it to self-respect. Wizard of Rata. And he's on YouTube? Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can look now. Since I got my computer right here, narcissist still a narcissist no matter which clown outfit they're choosing for the moment. When the narcissist calls you a narcissist, that means you've won. Yep, because they have nothing else. Always projecting. My God, I really need to invest in another tripod. I'm sorry, you guys, for the earthquake. All right, where's my glasses now? Oh, they're on top of my head. Have you guys ever done that where like you have your phone, you're like, "Where's my phone?" and you're holding it? Um, has 41 subs. Okay, let me pick this up again. Has 41 subs, very interesting topics, and had built herself up in the little area as if she was somebody when she was actually nobody. Always wanted and I always wanted to be admired. Okay, but okay, she was over. I think I'm missing part of your conversation, Stargazer. She was over on her yard display and always wanted praise for her decorations. If anybody stopped by, she'd always turn the conversation to get praise on her decorations. I think I missed something. Who are you talking about? Oh, here we go. Immediately after I left my covert psychopath and definitely a member of the dark triad, the new state I moved to right next door to a communal. Okay, we're talking about communals. She was over on her yard display and always wanted praise for her decorations. If anybody stopped by, she'd always turn the conversation to get praise on her decorations. Yep. Always like, look at me, I'm doing all this good. Everything she did was for some personal gain. If there was nothing in it for her, then she wouldn't do it. Yep. Isn't it crazy? Like I thought at first when I met the communal narcissist I met, he was actually a caregiver because I had reached out in a community app for our neighborhood and he offered to help. He said, I'm a caregiver. I don't know where to put you guys. He said, I'm a caregiver. And so I thought he was going to help me. Turns out he wanted me to beg the information out of him because I would find out things. And I would say, "Why didn't you tell me about this if you knew?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I told you now." And he even said, like, "I like the chase," because he had some romantic interest in me, but I had 0 romantic interest in him. I just wanted help with my daughter because he was a caretaker. I thought he had connections, and, he said, "I love the chase," and I said, "Well, I don't chase. I don't do that. You know, we're adults. If you wanna get to know me, you get to know me. I'm not playing that game." Um Everything she did, back up, scroll up, everything she did was some personal gain. Okay, I think I got the whole conversation now. You had moved away and right next door to a communal narcissist. So she just wanted all the conversations were about look at my decorations. It's all about me. Yep. And then the volunteering thing, you know. And I would see I would observe firsthand how he talked to the person he cared for and always dismissing her, um, because her husband was narcissistic. He showed narcissistic traits, so I was trying to help her and give her some tools, and, she was saying how upset she was about it, and he's like, "Well, don't think about it, then you won't be upset." You know, the things that they say that show that they clearly don't care. Okay, so I'm gonna put you guys down here, and I'm gonna try to find the YouTube so I can look up this guy and see maybe if I can find out when that more about that documentary. Katie said that they're waiting for more donations to finish the movie. I wonder how far along they are in it. Okay, some of them go back and forth between covert and communal. They put on the mask at church and take it off behind closed doors when they want to bully their target. Yeah, they can kind of have they can intertwine, which is scary. You know, like the covert malignant, the communal covert. She fooled me with her fake kindness at first. Yeah, that's where they get you. That's why when you get out of it, like I remember telling the neighbors, you know, we're not together anymore. And she they would say, "Well, but he was so nice." Yeah, because you only saw him for maybe 2 seconds. You only saw the act, you know? You didn't see when he took off the mask. He sounds creepy. He was creepy. She sounds creepy too. And it got me so mad, like, you know, and I don't know if you guys have ever ran across this where you're talking to them, you know, you're sharing something personal about yourself, which you think someone that wants to get to know you would be listening and wanting to know. He would cut me off mid-sentence and start talking about himself. And it I will never forget that. That was the one thing I was like, "Okay, I see what we're dealing with here." Yeah, it's creepy. Okay, so I was gonna try to find let's go to YouTube. Let me put my glasses on again. I have to get into the eye doctor, you guys, to get more contacts. When your contacts start making you tired, that means they need to be replaced. So I really wish we could all talk. Maybe we should move this to TikTok sometimes, but I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel instead of TikTok. TikTok's just like my secondary. It used to be my primary, but I prefer YouTube. I just started growing on YouTube a lot faster. I think the audience is more like a Gen Z, Gen X. Exactly. People always feel like their experience with the narc is also your experience. They don't realize the narc changes masks like they change clothes. They should hire us as actors. We can definitely get in character because we lived it. Yeah. Yes. That would be interesting. We can make our own documentary, you guys. Okay, YouTube. What are you going to be for Halloween? A narcissist? There you go. There's a merch idea. A funny one. We got to laugh sometimes, right? Do some skits on YouTube. Yes. Hire us as actors. Hey, you guys, I'm open to all of it. I mean, there's so much potential to do with social media and narcissism. We could all get together and just, that would be awesome. Okay, I am looking up. Let me see where did it go? Where did I put his name? The Wizard of Radical Self-Respect. Okay, now I got to put you guys down. The Wizard Radical Self-Respect. Here he is. Yeah, I wish I could figure out too how when I'm on my computer to show you guys. I guess that's the same thing as doing the documentary. I know there's a way to do it. I think it's another program that links your YouTube to your live. Does his logo has two R's on it and an S in the middle? I think this is him. Apathetic people wish we'd stop talking about it though. Oh well, they can keep wishing. It's too bad for them because we're not going to be quiet. Yep, Jared, Jared's his name? I am the Wizard of Radical Self-Respect and the Shepherd of Black Sheep. On this channel, I talk about true crime, current events, and psychology. I have personal experience with addiction, mental health, and narcissistic abuse. To give my unique perspective on true crime and current events, I also interview professionals in psychology, law enforcement, and other interesting people. That's cool. It's a fine line between an empathetic person and a narcissistic person. Be careful how you walk that path. Yeah. 107. Okay. Trying to get comfortable. Yeah, I wish you guys could come on here because I'm running out of things to talk about. Need you guys to take over. When the empath goes dark, that's it. As in empaths pretending to be narcs. Yeah. Yeah, it could get dangerous because I remember my therapist saying, at least you didn't turn into a narcissist because some people pick up those traits and decide that that's the route they're going to go so they don't get hurt anymore. And I guess at one point I touched on that a little bit because I thought, if he's going to have supply, then I'll go have supply and an eye for an eye. So I went on dating sites and I was talking to all these guys, but it wasn't me. It felt completely wrong. And that's not what I wanted because I wanted connection. And that's something narcissists will never give you. They will never give you connection. So I did some stupid stuff, thinking, oh, maybe this will fix it. Well, I'm going to act like he does. And yeah, that was a no bueno. It doesn't work. Yes, it is self abandonment. It's exactly what I did. I abandoned myself. Hmm. So I'm glad I did not change. I'm glad we didn't change and be like them. Dark empaths are dangerous. Keep your clean, clear, and full of love. Yeah, and once you have boundaries, um, and you start seeing how some people will disqualify themselves from your life because you have boundaries. They think, "Oh, I can't get past the gate with this person," you know? Yeah, it's nice to keep your bubble clean, keep your peace, and don't let them in because they see kindness. Uh, Bun Bun was on my foot. They take kindness as weakness. But when you show them the light and the boundaries, it's like when you show them the boundaries, it's like exposing light to a vampire. They really don't like that. And sometimes the trash takes itself out. They disqualify themselves. Pick up a narcissist fleas, but we can swat them away. Absolutely. Bun Bun keeps going on my feet. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to wash my comforter. Bun Bun just pooped. She pooped on my comforter. Well, I guess it's to be expected, but I needed to wash them anyway. Do you want to go back in your cage, Bun Bun? You pooping all over the place, huh? Come here. Oh my goodness, you guys. Ah, 11:11. That's how much time we've been on here. That's a good number. That's it. That's the number I have on my wrist. Means you're on the right path. Yeah, Bun Bun. It used to be, it was going to be my daughter's rabbit, and she named it whiskey or something like that, or some kind of alcoholic drink, and it just didn't sound right to me. So eventually it became Bun Bun. Bunny Bun Bun Bun. Do you have any pets, Honey Pepper? Anybody else in here? I think Deanna says she has pets. I know Katie does. I know her fur babies. Oh, you guys, my back hurts so bad. I need a massage. I have to I have too much empathy in me to be able to convert to a narc, and yes, I have strong boundaries. Yeah, we can never play that role. Same here. I just can't see destroying another person like that, and, like, knowing that you're hurting them and you continue to do it anyway blows my mind. I live with the narc. I would love to have a cat, though. I hope when that you get out, Honey Pepper, that you can get a cat, and we will celebrate. So let us know so we can come on here and celebrate your freedom. I call it the get the fuck out date. I want to make t-shirts about that too. Where it has, remember, Katie, we talked about that. Me making t-shirts. I actually made a mock t-shirt of it. And then it has a blank where you can write the date in that you got free. But I call it the GTFO. The date I GTFO'd. I can't even begin to think like them. No, we can't. Because our brains aren't wired like that. That's why we can't figure them out because they're not a puzzle to be solved. They can't be solved. That part of their brain associated with empathy, the, anterior insula, it doesn't have it. Definitely not you guys know I want a tabby. Aw. Do you want a boy or a girl? And have you thought of names? I have a cat and a small dog, Silky Terrier, Brussels Griffon Cross. Hmm. I love fur babies. They're great. They love so unconditionally. And you don't they calm your nervous system, like, it's scientifically proven when you pet an animal, it regulates your nervous system. And they know when you're upset. My dog will come and lay her head on my chest and comfort me, and it's the greatest, most purest love ever. I don't think I've ever experienced, love from a human being that way. It's just pure unconditional love. Animals are the best therapy ever. So, you guys, if I did figure out how you could talk on here, Would any of you be willing to come on here and talk? Because it's weird, like, looking at myself in the screen and talking after a while, after I've covered everything on my bullet point list. It would just be nice to have a live conversation. My kitty is so affectionate and keeps me company when I feel lousy physically or emotionally. Yes. What's your kitty's name, Deanna? There has got to be a way to get someone on here because I set it up before I turned the live on to get you guys um to be able to talk on here. View your channel, create, go live. Wonder if I can go live on my computer and my phone. Be a crazy pet owner was not on my bingo card for 2026. It says I'm live right here. Okay. Waiting for mobile stream to begin. Wonder if this is going to be the same. Oh, okay. So I wonder which one it's seeing me from now. Got you guys live on my laptop and on my phone. You know what's puzzling? My grandma was the sweetest, but she raised my dad who disciplined out of rage. It just doesn't compute in my brain. I know how you can say you love someone, but then you're hurting them at the same time. That cognitive dissonance is insane. Manu? Did I say that right, Deanna? But I've been calling her Miss Kitty. She likes that name better. Miss Kitty. But her I am. Oh, on the laptop, it's kind of delayed. Trying to figure out. Oh, on the laptop, it's kind of delayed. Can hear me talking. Sorry, you guys. I got an itchy nose. Welcome to my live chat. Oh, create a poll. I'm gonna figure this out. I wish they would let me like play with the live before I actually go live. So, but I'm so fumbling around and messy right now. Pop out chat participants, top fans. I don't know. Why they make it so hard? Chatting on here would be. Yes, you would talk with me, Deanna? Would you come on? Once I ever figure this out, and I will eventually, stream settings. Uh, let's see. Use default overlay. Oh, here's how to go overlay for breaks like a commercial. Choose from your videos. Let's see if this works, you guys. I'm going to try to play a video on here and see if it works. You guys are my not guinea pigs, but you're watching me be a guinea pig, I guess. Okay, this is why they're tears. Let's see what else. I don't want that one. Let's choose from your video. Hi, Bun Bun. You made it stinky on here. Let's see this one. See if I can figure out how to play this video, but it has to be my videos. So maybe if I put it in my playlist and we can watch it together. Let's talk about. Here we go. Let's see if this one will play. Save. How it works. Copy this URL in your encoder act. This is too much. I don't understand this. Use this URL to add the overlay into your encoder. I don't know what that means. What encoder? This is like beyond, they don't make this easy. And I'm not a computer geek. Oh gosh, Bun Bun just fell off the bed. Hang on, you guys. I'm gonna put her back. She's pooping all over everything. Come here, Bun Bun. Come on, Bun Bun. Oh, it's okay. I think the dogs are ready to go for a walk. So, oh God, she pooped right there too. Ah, Jesus, take the wheel. I should have put a pad down. All right. Okay. Well, back to this. I'll have to figure that out later. I got excited. I thought I was going to get to play a video and show you guys, but it's not as easy as it looks. Okay. My grandma was nothing like my dad when I was a kid. How could she raise someone the complete opposite of her? Grandparents don't attend to you as the grandchild because they are not responsible for you. Plus, if the grandparent treats you well, it causes cognitive disorders for your dad. It's a win-win. Maybe you can get in touch with the wizard if you'd like and see how he does it. I wish someone would teach me how to edit. I thought about because I've taken some courses on how to edit on YouTube and TikTok. Um, but since he has so many followers, I don't know if he'd answer me. And you can't, once you get that big, it's hard to keep track of content comments. My content would be so much better. Do you just have YouTube, Honey Pepper, or do you have TikTok also? I will tell you, do you use CapCut? Because CapCut is how you can edit easier than in YouTube. They have a free version of CapCut. I think my dogs are wanting to go out for a walk. You want to go potty? Yeah. Yeah, you got to go potty. Should I take you guys want to go for a walk with me and the dogs? They got to go potty. The only YouTube I don't like the clock app. What's the clock app? I don't know what that is, Honey Pepper. All right. Let's go take the dogs for a walk. Come on. Oh, you don't like the TikTok app? Come on, Hachi. Let's go potty. I liked TikTok because it was easier. It's taking me a minute to get used to YouTube, but eventually I'll get it.